Ready to go.
Okay. Good morning, everybody, and welcome back. Today we've got this little mini bike that has just all sorts of problems. The pull string's broken, and the story behind it is that the oil looked bad a year ago, and it was just left behind and forgotten. Now, this is not a Honda, sort of like a Predator motor. It's not a Predator either, though. It's some off-brand little engine, but it's a pretty neat-looking little bike, and I think she's worth saving. So we're going to start out with the recoil, and then move over and work on the oil and see what the oil looks like to determine our next step. So let's get started. Let's see how bad it is, or how good it is. His complaint was that the oil looked really bad, though, so I'm not expecting good things here. Okay, we're draining the oil now, and that's what's coming out. I have got no idea what that is. What it looks like is the stuff they'd put in an engine to prevent blow-by on the piston. You know, that anti-smoke stuff. After getting a good look at the oil, it's a little too sparkly for me. I talked to the owner on this and explained to him we could definitely get it running, and I can't promise how long that motor's got left. It's got life left, but not much. And so he said, go ahead and drop a Predator motor on it if you could. So that's what we're going to do. So job one's going to be to get this cover out of the way. And we'll see what the torque converter looks like in the chain and all that whatnot. I'm thinking this is probably going to take in real time, probably 20 minutes or half an hour to change the motor, and then another hour to do all the break-in on the motor. Okay, this looks like a pretty easy change. I'm going to get something with a little bit more guts than this. So we'll leave the jack shaft in place, and we'll just pull the torque converter off the motor. There we go. You can just see by looking at it that this motor sat for quite a while. That'll all go over to the Predator motor when it's ready. Let's get all the brackets off. And if you're doing something like this, take lots of pictures because it's super easy to lose track of where all this stuff goes. Even though we do this quite often, I do refer back to the videos every now and again on a change like this. Now, I explained to the guy that owns this that he will not have electrical for the headlight with this, and he said he's going to put an LED in the headlight. Shouldn't be anything other than carburetor linkage holding it together now. Yep, it was an 8. Okay, and now we can get to the linkage, which is held in with an odd screw. There we go. Now, if we look inside this carburetor, that tells us everything we need to know. That's probably where the sparklies came from in the engine. This thing sat, and it looks like it might have been underwater. If I were to guess, this thing was in a swimming pool or something at one point or another. But I'm glad we're pulling the engine. Unless I'm mistaken, I think we've got everything and this engine's ready to come out. So let's find out. We ran into a problem where the Predator motor doesn't fit correctly on this frame. The problem, it fits on the bolts, bolt pattern's fine, but the torque converter won't line up. The shaft is 1/2 inch shorter than the one on the original little Japanese engine. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this adapter plate, which is originally designed to change off a big motor on a small frame. So you'd use these inside bolts for that. But we're going to put it upside down, and it'll make this a little easier. So even trading off a big motor for a big motor is not easy sometimes. So there you go. Now we'll bolt this on, and then we can put another set of bolts coming up from underneath to bolt the Predator on. There you go, and as you can see, now we have the play we need. And it's pretty stable. And we'll maintain our alignment, our twist, because this, with the 4 bolts, is on pretty tight. So now we'll put the Predator motor in and put these bolts in from underneath, like so. Okay, I think I've got everything all lined up. So let's ease her in. And then we'll drop a bolt or 2 in just to hold her still. Okay, we got our little nut and bolt collection. We need to finish this off now. These are all 5/16 24. In this case, I'm running a 5/16 24 3/4, which is the shortest one I can find. And it feels like you're going to drive straight through the block with it, but it does fit. Let's get you started. Let's get you started. Now let's bang in. There you go, and you can see she just misses. Now we get our clutch into place. And since our motor's been moved over, we don't need any spacers on the inside anymore. But you can see it covers the bolts, which is why you have to get this bracket ready first. We'll lay the belt over the top. Okay, now let's get our driver in place. There she goes. Make sure she's good to go, and she is. Okay. And a little bit of work getting this thing together. But everything's looking good now. Now, and the differences between one engine and the other, we can't get the bottom bracket on for this, so we're just going to have to run with the top one. And the reason for that is it hits the oil clip down there. See, and she sits pretty good. Let's take her for a ride. Well, a ride around video is going to be pretty tough on this one because I don't have the right GoPro attachment to swivel the camera back and forth. And so it'd be facing off to the side. But I'll get an attachment for the next one. So I'm going to go ahead and test her out, see how she runs. It feels pretty good so far. She's got a pretty good bit of acceleration, and she feels pretty good overall. Feels a little bit shuddery for me, but that's just the nature of this kind of bike. It's big tires. So that means a new spring for the kickstand, and he's ready to go.